Tammy Slaton, a star of 1,000-Pound Sisters, has been diagnosed with cancer and is preparing for surgery. Tammy Slaton, a prominent figure from the reality series 1,000-Pound Sisters, has been experiencing significant challenges. She was just diagnosed with cancer, and the physicians indicated that surgery was necessary. She is presently hospitalized and in a state of physical weakness. Amy Slaton, her younger sister, remained by her side during the entire duration. Witnessing her sister's suffering, she was unable to restrain her tears. Amy wept quietly while grasping Tammy's hand. At that point, the physician arrived and soothed the family, stating, "Do not be concerned. Recovery will require time, but Tammy will progressively improve." The doctor's words of optimism restored a measure of tranquility to the family. However, Sister Tammy appeared to be experiencing a distinct emotion within. In a quavering voice, she stated, "I am uncertain of my lifespan. If I have ever caused you pain, I implore your forgiveness, sister." Upon hearing this, Amy succumbed to tears once more. A pall of muted anguish enveloped the hospital room. However, those present engaged in prayer for Tammy, infused with hope, love, and faith. The clean white walls of St. Mary's Regional Hospital resonated gently with the steady beeping of machinery. In a secluded private room on the 5th floor, Tammy Slaton, star of 1,000-Pound Sisters, reclined in bed, a mere shadow of the vivacious and audacious individual the world had recognized. The gravity of her diagnosis impacted her profoundly. Oncology. The term alone possessed sufficient gravity to demoralize, yet Tammy had consistently been a warrior. Amy Slaton sat silently next to her sister, her fingers firmly entwined with Tammy's. Their friendship transcended familial ties. They had shared laughter, tears, battled addiction, weight, grief, and the challenges of celebrity. However, nothing had equipped Amy for the sight of her sister connected to 4 lines, her eyes vacant from fatigue, her voice feeble from the incessant tests and treatments. Tammy rotated her head gradually, her lips separating marginally. "Amy," she murmured, her voice raspy. Amy inclined towards Tammy, sweeping a loose strand of hair off her forehead. "I am present, sister." Tears glistened in Tammy's eyes. If I do not succeed." "Cease," Amy interrupted swiftly, her voice quivering. "Refrain from making that statement. Do not entertain the thought." However, Tammy persisted, her voice trembling. "Kindly listen to me. If I have ever caused you pain or made you feel inadequate, I apologize. I cherish you, Amy. You have consistently been my source of strength," Amy confessed, unable to restrain herself any further. The dam ruptured. Silent tears cascaded down her cheeks as she grasped her sister's hand more firmly. "I absolve you, Tammy, and you will contest this. It is necessary for you to do so. We are not finished yet." At that moment, the door cracked open and Dr. Reynolds entered. His expression was composed yet grave. "I understand this is substantial," he remarked softly. "I wish to assure everyone that Tammy's condition is manageable. Recovery will require time, and the surgical procedure will be arduous. Nonetheless, optimism remains." It was a term they had not ventured to articulate. Chris, Misty, and Amanda promptly entered the room in silence. Each one contributed a distinct form of strength. Chris with his unwavering presence, Amanda with her resolute commitment, and Misty with her silent supplications. They encircled Tammy's bed, creating a bastion of steadfast affection. Tammy gazed at them, her eyes filled with emotion. "I am unworthy of your collective affection?" "No," Amanda replied, her voice faltering. "You do. You are not isolated in this." That evening, as the sun descended under the hospital skyline, the Slaton family remained still, their hands intertwined in prayer. The beeping of machines served as a backdrop to their unvoiced desires. Amy remained by Tammy's side, despite the nurses' comings and goings. Amy silently vowed, "If Tammy falters, I shall elevate her. If she is afraid, I shall be her fortitude. If she forgets her strength, I will remind her." That is the essence of sisterhood. In that moment, enveloped by love and trust, Tammy Slaton, despite her frailty and uncertainty, experienced an emotion she had not felt in weeks. She experienced optimism. Nonetheless, it was a tranquil Thursday afternoon in Dixon, Kentucky. The Slaton sisters, Amy, Tammy, and Amanda, convened in Amy's backyard for an ostensibly informal family barbecue. The atmosphere was permeated by the aroma of cooked hot dogs, the laughter of children, and the sporadic disputes between Tammy and Amy, reminiscent of bygone days. Amanda had remained silent throughout the day. Excessively silent. Amy was the first to notice. "Are you well, sister?" she inquired, handing Amanda a drink. "You have scarcely engaged with your plate." Amanda offered a constrained smile but remained silent, acknowledging, "You never decline barbecue." She cast a sidelong glance at Tammy, who was engrossed in her phone, only partially attentive to the discussion. Amanda then up and struck her fork on her glass. "I have something to articulate," she declared, her voice sufficiently loud to silence the entire yard. Even Tammy relinquished her phone. Amy arched an eyebrow. "Understood?" Amanda inhaled deeply. "I am relocating to Florida next week." The silence was palpable. "What?" Amy screamed, almost dropping her plate. "Florida? Since when has this occurred?" Tammy's jaw was agape. Pause. "Are you referring to relocating? Not relocating for vacation?" Amanda acquiesced. "I have been contemplating it for some time. I received a job offer in Tampa. Enhanced compensation. Improved meteorological conditions. I require a respite from this town and its turmoil," Amy declared, rising with a flushed face. "Disorder. This constitutes our family. You cannot simply abandon us in such a manner." Amanda's gaze softened. "I will not withdraw. I am prioritizing my own needs for the first time. I have served as the resolver, the combatant, and the guardian for an extended period. I desire a new beginning. It does not imply that I do not love you all." Tammy, unexpectedly subdued, murmured, "Why did you not inform us earlier?" Amanda exhaled audibly. "Because I anticipated this occurrence." The weeping, the culpability, the accusations of "how could you?" However, this moment is centered on me for a change. Amy was now in tears. Who will reprimand Tammy when she neglects therapy? Or prevent me from consuming that third donut? "You cannot depart, Mandy," Amanda remarked with a quiet giggle. "You will endure. You consistently do. I will visit. However, it is time for me to have a life that is authentically mine, rather than one in which I perpetually rectify the chaos created by others." Abruptly, the children approached, oblivious to the turmoil, pursuing Bubbles and pulling Amy back to reality. Tammy averted her gaze, surreptitiously dabbing her eyes. Amanda advanced, embracing both of her sisters. "This is not a permanent farewell," she whispered. "Farewell for the present." With that, the Slaton family embarked on a new chapter, one characterized not by weight, struggle, or turmoil, but by transformation. Occasionally, the most astonishing revelations are those that ultimately liberate you. Nonetheless, Tammy Slaton had always recognized her potential for transformation, yet no one, not even her nearest relatives, could have anticipated the extent of her progress. 14 months had elapsed since Tammy underwent her transformative weight loss operation. For several months, she had remained out of the public eye, eschewing social media and interviews. Amy, her sister and steadfast supporter, also remained silent, honoring Tammy's wish for seclusion during her rehabilitation. The world had not received any communication from her. Speculations begun to proliferate on the internet. Was Tammy in a satisfactory condition? Was she in the process of recuperation? Did something go awry? On a tranquil Sunday morning, Tammy uploaded a solitary photograph to Instagram. She stood outdoors in a flowing blue dress, her hair curled, her complexion glowing, and most astonishingly, her physique noticeably altered. The inscription stated, "I vowed to return more resilient. I fulfilled that promise." Within hours, the post garnered over 1 million likes. Comments inundated the platform. However, in Dixon, Kentucky, the most poignant response came from her family. Amy dropped her phone immediately upon seeing the picture. "Is this authentic?" she yelled, almost rousing her two sons from their slumber. She promptly contacted Tammy. "Tammy? Female. Is that you?" Tammy chuckled from the opposite end. "Affirmative. It is I, sister. I intended to astonish you all." Chris, their sibling, proceeded directly to Tammy's residence. Upon her opening the door, he remained stationary, mouth agape. "You are only half the individual you once were, however, twice as potent." Their mother, Darlene, recognized for her stern affection and acerbic wit, genuinely became emotional. "You have accomplished something I never believed possible. I am proud of you, dear." However, not everybody received the news favorably. Amanda, their impassioned cousin, was dubious. "I trust you are not seeking attention through this," she said. "I trust you undertook this for your own benefit." Tammy acquiesced. "I undertook this action to ensure my survival. I undertook this to regain my emotions." As time elapsed, Tammy's metamorphosis captivated the media. Talk shows sought interviews. Weight loss publications made contact. However, Tammy had lost desire in stardom. She consented to conduct a singular exclusive interview, accompanied by Amy. Facing the host, Tammy stated, "I have lost 250 pounds. Moreover, I relinquished my fear. I have overcome self-doubt. I have regained my life," Amy stated, grasping her sister's hand. "We have endured tremendous hardships together. I have witnessed her in her most unfavorable state. However, what about today? This is Tammy's finest work." As the global audience saw, motivated by her narrative, Tammy inaugurated her own motivational YouTube channel titled Tammy Transformed. She disseminated her vlogs concerning mental health, food addiction, and self-esteem. Individuals who formerly derided her were now applauding her. In a full-circle moment, Tammy said during one of her live streams, "I'm beginning training to become a certified health coach. If I can emerge from the darkness, anyone can. I aspire to assist others in doing the same." The online audience erupted in enthusiasm. Amy, tears cascading down her cheeks as she observed from home, murmured to herself, "You accomplished it, sister. You truly accomplished it." Nevertheless, Tammy Slaton had consistently grappled with her weight. This was well known. The world observed her story unfold on national television, empathizing with her, supporting her, and at times, questioning her. However, no one, not even her sister Amy, could have anticipated the forthcoming events. Nearly 8 months had elapsed since Tammy admitted herself to the prestigious rehabilitation facility in Arizona. Following years of emotional struggles, unsuccessful diets, and unfortunate setbacks, this occasion appeared distinct. Amy remained cautious and refrained from harboring expectations. Amy expressed to producers in a confessional, "I simply desire her survival. As long as she remains with me, her size is inconsequential." However, what Amy witnessed upon Tammy's return to her Kentucky residence rendered her utterly speechless. The cameras were operational. The family assembled. Chris and Amanda also attended, attempting to maintain reasonable expectations. Amy was anxiously pacing as the automobile entered the driveway. "She will not be diminutive," she murmured. "She likely merely shed a few pounds." The automobile door swung open. Tammy exited. Inhalations permeated the atmosphere. Amanda grasped Chris's arm. "That is not Tammy," she murmured. However, it was. Tammy had shed more than 450 pounds. She ambulated with assurance, employing a little cane for stability. Her visage was slender, her eyes were luminous, her complexion radiant. She donned a tailored black dress and arranged her hair in gentle curls. Amy succumbed to tears. "Oh, mine, deity, Tammy," she exclaimed, hastening forward to embrace her sister. "You appear to be an entirely different individual. I did not believe this was achievable by humans." Tammy laughed, genuinely laughed, for the first time in years. "Indeed," she remarked, "nor did I. However, I grew weary of being confined within my own body. Unbeknownst to others, following a near-fatal lung ailment months prior, Tammy experienced a profound awakening. She commenced clandestine collaboration with a globally acclaimed fitness therapist famous for assisting combat veterans in overcoming profound trauma. She adhered to a tailored regimen of therapy, nutritious food, and regular cold water immersion. However, the most astonishing aspect may be, Tammy commenced boxing. It provided me with a motivation to progress, she stated. Each punch I delivered represented my struggle against the former Tammy. Upon achieving her weight loss objective and qualifying for skin removal surgery, she concealed this information from everyone, including Amy, intending to astonish them all in person. Indeed, she astonished them. The internet erupted. Tammy's reunion photograph disseminated rapidly on Instagram and Twitter. Fans remarked, "She is unrecognizable in the most favorable manner. Tammy, you are currently inspiring millions." I wept while viewing this. Having grown up overweight, this provides me tremendous optimism. She became a global trend within hours. Tammy engaged in a discussion with the producers during her inaugural interview following her weight loss. "I do not wish to be perpetually identified as the girl who once weighed 700 pounds, she stated. "I aspire to be recognized as the woman who persevered, who embraced life, and who confronted the weight of trauma, pain, and food, ultimately emerging resilient." Amy interjected, grasping Tammy's hand, tears cascading down her cheeks. "You accomplished it, sister. You accomplished it, and I am exceedingly proud." Nevertheless, it was a muggy Saturday afternoon in Kentucky, and Amy Slaton was in a daring mood. Since returning home from filming the latest season of 1,000-Pound Sisters, she has been experimenting with new culinary endeavors. Motivated by a recent visit to a southern food fair, Amy acquired a package of spicy Cajun-style alligator meat from a vendor who asserted, "It will transform your life, dear." Upon returning home, her young son Gage was energetically traversing the living room, laughing and toppling stuffed animals like a miniature whirlwind. Amy glanced over and smiled. "All right, little alligator, let us determine if you are prepared for something adventurous today." She expertly prepared the dish, pan-fried with precise heat, onions, bell peppers, and her secret ingredient, a dab of Louisiana spicy sauce. The entire kitchen was permeated by a piquant, smoky fragrance. Simultaneously, Tammy expressed her disdain by rolling her eyes from the recliner. "Do you genuinely believe that the infant will consume that spicy concoction? He consumes unseasoned mashed potatoes and weeps if they contain excessive salt." Amy emitted laughter. "It is time for him to acquire some taste. He possesses Slaton lineage. He is capable of managing it. Ultimately, the decisive moment has arrived." Amy placed a little, bite-sized portion of the spicy alligator on Gage's plate, adjacent to his customary mac and cheese. The toddler prodded it inquisitively, then inhaled its scent with much skepticism. All individuals, including the cameraman recording for the program, suspended their breathing. Gage gradually raised it to his lips, took a bite, and hesitated. His small visage underwent a succession of expressions: bewilderment, astonishment, and then fury. His eyes expanded as the heat activated, and a faint squeak emerged from his lips. "Scorching," he shouted, protruding his tongue and waving his arms. Amy experienced a state of panic. "Oh, Lord. I informed you that it was piquant, darling. Here, consume some milk." Gage seized his sippy cup as if it were a lifeline and consumed its contents rapidly. After the heat subsided, he cast a sidelong glance at Amy and then gestured towards the dish once more. "Do you desire additional?" she inquired, astonished. He nodded emphatically. Tammy erupted in laughter. "He is genuinely a Slaton." The alligator was utterly defenseless. Throughout the remainder of the afternoon, Gage persistently requested additional fire meat, prancing about and exhibiting his dragon breath with each bite he took. Amy radiated pride. Later that evening, during the interview section of the show, Amy remarked with a smile, "I was uncertain about the outcome, but it appears my son possesses the heart of a dragon and the appetite of a Cajun." What follows? Crawfish boil. Tammy laughs softly in the background. Amy, refrain from giving him ghost peppers. We are attempting to retain him, not criticize him. The Slaton residence resonated with laughter once more, disorderly, untidy, and brimming with affection. Season 3 of 1,000 Pound Sisters introduced heightened drama, intensified emotions, and unforeseen occurrences beyond fans' expectations. This season had astonishing health revelations, unexpected reunions, and even alligator cuisine, presenting numerous unforeseen and remarkable moments. Let us explore the most essential fictional moments of the season. The inception was marked by a fright. In the inaugural episode, Tammy was expedited to the hospital following a critical decline in her oxygen levels. Paramedics were observed endeavoring to stabilize her while Amy wept in the background. I am unprepared to lose my sister, Amy said, grasping Tammy's hand. The scene had viewers in tears and captivated, questioning whether Tammy would survive. In episode 3, Amy opted to explore Cajun cuisine and introduced her little son Gage to fiery alligator for the first time. The cameras recorded the amusing pandemonium that ensued as Gage expelled it and dashed about the house exclaiming, "Fire in my mouth." Even Tammy was unable to suppress her laughter. What were you contemplating when you fed a toddler to an alligator? She jested. The internet surged with memes. Midway through the season, Chris revealed a startling secret. He had clandestinely lost over 100 pounds without informing the family. Upon entering the kitchen clad in his antiquated pants, with both legs occupying a single opening, everyone erupted in exuberant cheers. This marks the first occasion I perceive myself as victorious in this struggle, Chris expressed with emotion. It was a moment of pride that united the family more than ever. Tammy astonished everyone by presenting her new internet partner, Darren. The family became wary when he declined to be filmed. Amy cautioned, "He is concealing something." She was correct. Episode 7 disclosed that Darren was married, a fact that Tammy discovered on camera. She hurled her phone across the room and exclaimed, "I am finished with love." Viewers were devastated on her behalf. Amanda orchestrated a dramatic intervention in episode 9 due to her frustration with Tammy's demeanor and insufficient progress. She entered Tammy's room brandishing a large banner that read, "No more excuses." He exclaimed, "You must either combat for your survival or forfeit it." The tension culminated in an intense altercation. However, upon reflection, Tammy acknowledged, "I required that." It was authentic, genuine, and impactful. In the season finale, Amy revealed a delightful surprise to the family. She was expecting another child. The disclosure occurred amidst a tumultuous family meal, during which she presented Tammy with a onesie inscribed with "Big Aunt Energy." Tammy wept, overcome with elation. "I shall endeavor to be a more exemplary aunt this time," she said. The season concluded on an optimistic note as the family united in an embrace. The Slaton family embarked on an impromptu excursion to a cabin in Tennessee. Their unsuccessful fishing endeavors and a squirrel pilfering their food constituted quintessential reality television material. The true highlight was when Tammy successfully hiked, albeit for a brief distance, for the first time in years. The audience erupted in applause as the show concluded with a picturesque sunset, accompanied by Tammy's whispered declaration, "I still have fight in me." Season 3 of 1,000 Pound Sisters was an emotional roller coaster. It provided fans with hope, sadness, amusement, and indelible experiences. Tammy and Amy's odyssey continues to motivate individuals globally, demonstrating with each challenge that familial bonds, affection, and tenacity are paramount. Nonetheless, it was intended to be a tranquil family retreat, a long-awaited holiday by the lake in Tennessee. Amy meticulously orchestrated every detail: a quaint cabin, fishing excursions for the children, campfires, s'mores, and an absence of conflict. However, she overlooked one detail. She was reuniting Tammy and Amanda under the same roof. As soon as they entered the cabin driveway, the anxiety was palpable. Tammy complained vocally, attempting to navigate her wheelchair across the constricted corridor. "Why must I sleep on the bunk bed?" Amanda expressed her disdain by rolling her eyes. No one instructed you to bring 17 suitcases for a 3-day trip, Tammy. You have already occupied the only spacious room with your belongings. Perhaps if you assisted rather than dictated to everyone, you would understand my needs, Tammy said. Amy exhaled audibly, massaging her temples. Gage was tugging at her leg requesting juice, Glenn was weeping, and Michael was outdoors attempting to repair the grill. This was not the intended commencement of her vacation. That nightfall, circumstances deteriorated further. As the family convened around the campfire, Amanda resolved to initiate a candid discussion. "Tammy," Amanda remarked, prodding the flames with a stick, "you must cease your entitlement mentality. Everyone encounters difficulties. You are not the only one." Tammy's face flushed. "Here we go once more." Amanda's TED Talk on accountability. "Perhaps you ought to author a book titled, How to Sabotage Every Family Gathering." Chris attempted to intervene and pacify them. "Everyone, please proceed. Can we simply relish the marshmallows without resorting to insults?" However, Amanda was not finished. "You advocate for equality, Tammy, yet you anticipate preferential treatment consistently. That is unjust to the others. Furthermore, do you anticipate that I should transport firewood or traverse the woods while you are aware of my limitations? I am not requesting preferential treatment. I demand respect," Tammy exclaimed, her voice faltering. Amy rose, cradling Glenn in her arms. "I assure you, I organized this trip for the purpose of fostering our connection, not for chaos. If you're going to scream, please do so on the porch." Consequently, they complied. Tammy maneuvered her wheelchair towards the cabin porch, with Amanda following closely behind, stamping her feet. The shouting persisted, sufficiently loud that even the raccoons in the trees likely heard every word. Within, the remaining family members exchanged uncomfortable glances. "Do you believe they will cease?" Misty inquired softly. Chris declined with a shake of his head. "Not until someone ends up weeping or hurling pie." The following morning, all gathered around a quiet breakfast table, nibbling on pancakes. Tammy and Amanda were silent, merely glaring at one another from opposite sides of the room. Amy ultimately shattered the stillness. "If you wish to argue whenever we are together, so be it. However, you will not include the children in this weekend's matters. We arrived to create memories, not memes." A lengthy silence ensued. Amanda sighed and remarked, "Perhaps I overstepped." Tammy stared in astonishment. "You did. However, I suppose I do not facilitate matters." That brief interaction was sufficient to slightly melt the ice. Amanda did not embrace Tammy, although she offered her a slice of bacon, which Tammy accepted without rejection. Advancement. At the conclusion of the vacation, they played a card game, laughed about Amy's charred grilled cheese, and captured a family photograph in which no one was shouting. As they returned home, Chris muttered, "Next time, let's camp without matches. Perhaps this will prevent the fire." Nonetheless, it was yet another sunny day in Dixon, Kentucky, but tranquility was not on the agenda. Tammy Slaton had awakened in a decidedly sassy mood. Upon awakening, she knew that today would be her day to take charge. Amy was already preparing for what lay next. The inception occurred at the nearby fast food establishment. Amy volunteered to transport Tammy for lunch, but tensions escalated when the adolescent at the drive-thru mismanaged Tammy's order for the third occasion that week. Tammy rolled her eyes with such intensity that Amy believed they could remain fixed in that position. "Excuse me, sir," Tammy exclaimed from the passenger side. "I requested extra pickles, not pickles accompanied by a side of attitude." The boy apologized with trepidation, but Tammy moved closer to the speaker and remarked, "I am not requesting much, dear. Only pickles and respect." Amy attempted to depart before Tammy escalated into a full-scale protest. "We are not going to achieve viral status due to a pickle-related breakdown," Tammy murmured. "Perhaps we ought to. At the very least, I would be trending." Later that day, Chris persuaded Tammy to accompany him to the gym for her new health endeavor. Tammy halted and faced the trainer shortly after the treadmill commenced. "Do you genuinely expect me to run?" "I will run only when pursued, and that pursuit must involve cake." The trainer laughed uneasily. However, Tammy continued unabated. Are you seeking cardiovascular exercise? Suspending a slice of cheesecake from a string before me would serve as a compelling source of incentive. Chris was gasping with amusement. Lord, have mercy, Tammy. You exude a distinct energy today. Tammy remarked with a wink. Amy and Misty attempted to conduct a serious family discussion regarding health objectives at home, but Tammy interjected with her sarcasm and a food platter. Amy stated, "We must discuss pragmatic strategies." Tammy interjected. Misty sighed. My objective is to endure your incessant nagging. Our sole desire is for you to enjoy a long life, Tam. Tammy theatrically tossed her hair, to the extent possible while seated. I am alive. I require snacks and no disturbances. She then pushed a donut across the table akin to a poker chip and asked, Who wishes to wager that I will endure longer than all of you? After several days of turmoil, Tammy opted to express her snark online. She broadcasted live on TikTok, wearing her preferred sequin blouse, clutching her emotional support Diet Coke. Pay attention, detractors, she stated. I might be big, but I'm also bold, beautiful, and built to slay. You don't like it? Scroll on. Amy walked by in the background, heard that, and whispered, Dang, she's preaching today. Tammy nodded toward the camera. They keep trying to cancel me, but baby, I come with reruns. Perhaps the most iconic sass moment of all was when Amy brought home the wrong ice cream flavor, sugar-free strawberry instead of double fudge brownie. Tammy froze mid-bite, looked Amy dead in the eyes, and said, You really out here trying to hurt me like this? Amy laughed. It's healthier. Tammy clutched the carton like it was her firstborn. Healthy don't taste like betrayal. By the end of the week, the whole family was exhausted from Tammy's unfiltered sass. But even they had to admit, nobody could shut down a room like Tammy Slaton. Amy summed it up best. You can't tame the sass dragon. You just gotta love her, or hide from her when she's hangry. Tammy grinned, lifting her drink, to being loud, proud, and full of sass, even on a diet. Nevertheless, Tammy Slaton of 1000 LB Sisters makes significant progress after years of confinement to her home, evoking strong emotions. The reality star appears more content, reveling in life. She recently commemorated a milestone with a boat excursion alongside friends. Tammy Slaton, a star of 1,000-Pound Sisters, has undergone a challenging journey towards improved health. She and her sister, Amy Slaton, were significantly overweight and confined to their home for 6 years. Currently, Tammy has successfully reduced her weight to 500 pounds, 226 kilograms, precisely half of her former weight. The reality television personality appears to be more content, actively enjoying life. Recently, she commemorated a significant achievement with a boat ride alongside friends. According to 9 Entertainment, the 38-year-old shared a TikTok compilation showcasing her joyful experiences along the shore, radiating happiness. Earlier this month, she shared another video on TikTok, chronicling her significant weight loss. So much has changed about me over the years. I couldn't be more grateful and fortunate to have the support and love not only from my fans and friends, but also from my girlfriend and, of course, my family, she captioned the post. She expressed gratitude to her fans for motivating her to continue her weight loss journey. Fans offered abundant praise and encouragement for the reality star. You're literally glowing. I am so proud of you. One commented, garnering over 100 likes. A second fan lauded Tammy as an inspiration for all those seeking to transform their lives, according to the outlet. Tammy, I have observed your journey since the inaugural season, and your resurgence has been profoundly inspiring. Your confidence and radiance are evident, and no one is more deserving of this than you. Another admirer remarked. A different internet user affirmed, I have never felt prouder of a stranger. You are a true inspiration, the comment stated. 1,000-Pound Sisters has been broadcast for the past 5 years, during which fans have witnessed various relationship upheavals and the sisters undergoing multiple surgical procedures. Throughout these years, Tammy has undergone bariatric surgery, skin removal surgery, and additional interventions. On a personal note, she married Caleb Willingham, who subsequently passed away years later, reportedly due to complications arising from super-morbid obesity. Following her husband's death, she publicly identified as pansexual. The reality star is currently engaged to her partner, Andrea, a relationship she maintained privately for 3 years, only discussing it in the most recent season of the show. During an interview, she inadvertently referred to Andrea as her fiancé, an unexpected revelation that garnered significant online attention. In June 2025, she featured on the Creative Chaos podcast to discuss her life. During the discussion regarding her relationship, she stated, "My fiancé and I primarily relax at home," before the host interjected to verify the information. "Excuse me, did you say fiancé?" the host inquired. She blushed while displaying her radiant engagement ring. Tammy also adorned a necklace inscribed with Andrea's name, clearly illustrating her profound affection. She and her sister have traversed a significant journey and are now fully embracing life. In the interview, Tammy expressed her desire to indulge herself by acquiring her dream vehicle, a classic Ford Mustang GT, which she affectionately referred to as an old-fashioned Stang. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina, and I hope your day is going splendidly. If you appreciate the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.